time, we're gonna call the Edgefield County Planning Commission wet session for August 13, 2026 to order. And let's see, we got guest speakers. Third, old business. Review of the proposed change to county ordinance made by planning commission in previous meetings. And these changes will come to a vote, and if recommended by a majority, will be submitted to the county council for consideration. Okay, what we got?
Now, Fab, if you want to, y'all can,
Want to go and get him
y'all
out?
can vote, and y'all can change the agenda to do new business first if you want to.
Okay.
And that way, we'll just give him a little bit more time if we need it, and then we can go to the other.
We need a motion for that? No, I need a motion.
No.
So we'll go down to new business. Hey, how you doing? We're going down to new business, item 4, review of the preliminary plats submitted to the land development application for proposed tractor supply store be located at the corner of Columbia Road and Star Road in Edgefield. Tax service number 156 0841000. And I think we had an applicant who is Gavin, how you pronounce that?
Well, Gavin Millian has been the main contact. My name is actually Elliot McKenzie. I work alongside Gavin.
Right, okay. So you represent
Yes,
the property owner, Tractor Supply, what?
yes, we are.
Come on up, Jen.
Absolutely.
We'll go over a few things first.
Okay.
You can see the preliminary plat behind us. It's located, of course, on the corner of Columbia Road and Star Road. It's general commercial. The parcel is 18 acres now, and what's going to be developed is the 5.74 acres. There's going to be 2 entryways, one off Columbia, one off Star. There will be a shared entry right here towards the bottom. This being their property line, there will be a buffer that separates the Tractor Supply in the parking lot from that entryway. The site was also, so when we start talking about the tree preservation, the site was timbered several years ago before Helene. Then when Helene came, of course, it just destroyed everything, and there were few trees left that were even salvageable. So they will turn in their tree preservation or their tree plan and their tree survey before your last meeting for final approval. So currently, the total site is 250,229 square feet. The required canopy is 50,048 square feet, which is 20%. They're going to meet and provide a 22.80% canopy. So if y'all have any questions other than what you can see, they're going to provide the employment for 5 to 15 permanent employees. And of course, you all know Tractor Supply. They'll provide things that are needed in a rural farming community. And I think y'all know pretty much what Tractor Supply is and does. There's not a whole lot for me else to say except for present the site plan to you. Do y'all have any questions?
Is the store gonna be familiar to the one that just built in Saluda?
It'll be
roughly the same.
Yes, I mean, so it'll be the same prototype as the one you see. I haven't been to that store specifically, but the actual building itself would be a little over 20,000 square feet, and then you'll have a 20,000 square foot outdoor display area. Where they'll also have merchandise. So.
This is what got page 11.
Page 11. So it's their prototype for Tractor Supply, and so it'll have a masonry facade on the front. It's a block building, okay, with masonry on the front. And so, but I represent. My name's Elliot McKenzie. I represent Baseline CRE, and we work in partnership with Tractor Supply and helping them. We've done many projects here in the upstate and throughout the Carolinas for them. So appreciate the opportunity for allowing me to be here, and thank you for April for all the work she's been doing alongside Gavin, who you mentioned before, and also our engineer and other people that are designing this.
I'm out of curiosity. On the right side of that site plan, that's a retention pond or detention pond there? Right.
Retention pond.
Okay, and then below that, where the black line
Mhm.
stripes are within the black, what is that area?
So that is gonna be, there's not municipal sewer, and
Mhm.
so therefore we have to provide septic,
Oh, okay.
on-site septic. So we actually had to expand this parcel slightly from what we started with
Mhm.
in order to make sure there was adequate room for on-site septic.
Now, did y'all buy the entire parcel, or you're just buying what you're developing?
Just buying this,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
so the owner's keeping the rest of the
Correct.
acreage there?
And Tractor Supply will actually be who closes on this property, Tractor Supply Corporate.
If you'll look on page 10, you'll see the plat subdivision that's gonna happen if they did, when they develop.
Okay.
So, let's see,
5.74 acres.
you got lot 1 and lot 2. So they'll be on lot 1,
Mhm.
It's gonna be on lot 2.
they'll be on,
It'll be close to Star Road, so.
on,
this
right in the
plat-
corner, they'll be on the corner lot.
Yes, so
Okay,
on
then.
page 10, if you're looking at the plat, it will be where the red arrow shows on lot 2.
Okay, they talk about the entrance there. It's a driveway on the right before you get to the corner.
There's gonna
So
be 2.
here's Columbia Road.
Yeah, right.
KJ's is right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is one driveway.
That's the driveway that's there now, or that gonna be a new
This
one?
is the driveway here.
Mm-hmm. Cause we,
Star Road.
we got one, we got some already on there, but they're probably gonna not be the same though, right?
It's wherever DOT. at the
Yeah,
end
right,
tells
okay,
them.
that's what I wanted, 'cause I looked at it
After-
already.
After speaking, I guess briefly with DOT, that's their proposed on both Star
Right.
and, because like I said, this one down here off of Columbia will be a shared drive for potential in the future.
Right.
But right now, that property line goes where you see that tree buffer, and then there's that shared driveway.
And we lined it up with the development across the street on Columbia Road.
Okay, right. Got any questions? Let's see, are you gonna have to put it on for the sewer, are you gonna have to put in a lift station, that got, because across the road, they got lift station
Yeah.
on, right across from you over there, and I wonder, are you gonna have to put one over there, you don't know yet?
So they actually don't have sewer access for this lot. So they are being provided public water, but they're having to put a septic tank in.
Oh, they have to put a septic tank, okay.
Tractor Supply has, it's not like, it doesn't even use as much water as
Right.
a house. So it's not
Okay.
a huge heavy lift, but they are having to use septic because sewer isn't available right
That's
there.
what I wonder, 'cause I know we had to put a lift station, and they put in the others over there.
And that's what he was talking about down towards the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
Right below where you see the detention pond for their stormwater.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 2 bathrooms and a Tractor Supply and then a dog wash station. So it's not a lot of use.
I'm excited about it myself, 'cause
Excited to.
if that, absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I went over and took a tour of it, the
Great.
county council took me, their county council did, we were talking about it, and it really, it's exciting.
But we're excited, Tractor Supply is excited as well. And so appreciate everybody, and I think they're gonna be a great addition to the community here. I think it matches up perfectly with the outdoors and the agricultural heritage you'll have. Anything else?
They don't have any other questions for me, I think.
No, I haven't.
Right now,
I'll sit here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Some more baby chicks. Yeah.
I got a rooster, I'll give you.
Okay. Love to. Okay, any more, nothing on that, we'll go back to, our old business.
last month we talked about, possible changes to ordinance that y'all had concerned about. And one was, the communication towers. On the second page, you'll see, setbacks from residents and also the buffering, landscaping around the base, of the tower where they store any, where they have any equipment. That's on that second page. On the first page, you'll see the 1,000 feet, from any existing towers. was wondering if we would entertain possibly making that a larger separation, greater than 1,000 feet. Because 1,000 feet is, if you look at it from one cell tower to the next, it's not a huge distance. So
So
y'all can start
miles,
with that one, or you can start,
I
the
guess.
14 and 15 that are highlighted, that were recommended at the last meeting.
So a mile is 5,200
I guess
feet, right?
on that, my opinion, well, let's see, that could be, and it could be where it would be okay, and then it would be another place that would be, depending on the location. If you were out in the rural area, you know, I wouldn't have a problem if you're getting closer into a most dense area. I think that'd be more than 1,000. But how would we?
I mean, in my opinion, the 1,000 feet from a residence or school is a more restrictive requirement than, you know, I mean, if you're out in, you know, Woodlawn Road, you know,
saying,
way out, it doesn't really matter if the towers are 1,000 feet away from each other. But if you're gonna require them to be 1,000 feet from houses, schools and stuff like that, that's more restrictive than the distance between the towers. The only thing I don't wanna eliminate the distance from other towers. I mean, if you wanna raise it a little bit, keep it, reduce it a little bit, that's fine. I just wouldn't want a situation where you have 5 different tower companies trying to get on the same piece of property. That would look bad. But other
That's
than
fine,
that,
the way
I
that
really
beat
don't
out.
have much opinion on separating the towers. If you're gonna make sure that they're 1,000 feet from any house or anything that would be looking at them all the time, I think that's more restrictive than how far they are from each other.
I agree. I just Googled it. This says independent health groups suggest minimum distance of 1,500 feet from schools and residents. So a minimum of 1,500 is what is recommended by people that study the distances.
Yep. And that's entirely up to y'all.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think
The most
that's more
restrictive one,
relevant than
3,000.
how far they are from one another.
Yeah.
So from residents and schools, 15, 2, 3,
Yeah.
I mean, we can change it to whatever.
Yeah. Well, this says the most restrictive in Massachusetts is 3,000 feet. But it's recommended a minimum of 1,500.
So make it 1,500.
I don't know. Things moving so fast. I think, you know, with, even though I'm anti-AI, what we call it, in the future, it probably gonna be where some of the schools gonna have to required to put a tower on their property because of, you know, to move up. Because see what they're doing, they're cutting down on the distance. When you cut down on the distance, that means you gotta be more than tower.
So I
So
can
now
tell
we're
you
facing that
from
problem.
doing the law enforcement center that once you build a concrete and steel structure, no outside signals are getting inside the building.
Right.
The steel that's inside the concrete acts like a Faraday cage, and it blocks all the signals from getting into the building. So that building is actually equipped with antennas throughout the whole building that go back to miniature cell towers that are in the mechanical rooms. So if you go into the data closets, there's little tiny AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile towers, little blocks that have their name on it sitting in there. And then they plug into those antennas and it gets broadcast throughout the building from those little antennas. That's how we have to do it now, simply because of the nature of the structures. I imagine all big buildings that have steel framing have to do that nowadays.
Yeah, they're having a problem. right?
Because
You got a problem
5G will not go through, it will not penetrate a wall like that. So, yes, you're right.
But that, I mean, I
Schools are
see
gonna
that in
have
the future, that's
miniature
where we get-
antennas built into them. I don't think you're gonna see, you know.
They
the
won't be
360
tall way up there. They
You're not
won't
gonna
be
see a
tall.
365-foot tower. But yeah, they have to have emitters inside the school for 5G if they want I
And if
mean,
that-
personally, I think they should take all that out and just make cell phones not work at schools, but, you know, that's like me, but.
So if the state requires that, or if there's a state law, that would supersede us anyway, any ordinance that we have.
It would,
correct?
but,
That would be the minimum.
the towers that the schools build are their radio communication towers. They're 100 foot tall. And it's technically a communication tower, but I always classify that as part of the school. It's attached to the school. It's built into the school. So when they have, like Thurman has a 100 foot tall communication antenna. I don't really consider that a cell tower, as in I bring that to y'all like I would a cell tower. You know, I bring y'all an entire plan for the whole project, you know, and that's just, like I said, I call it a cell antenna. It's really a radio antenna though. And I can't see a time when they're gonna be putting 380, 400 foot
Well, no,
communication
no,
towers up for a school. That's not likely to happen.
It's 1,000 feet from any residential. Does that include my own house if I wanted to put one within, say, the fall radius is 500?
I would say that we should write an exemption in there that if it is on your own property and you're the one that's actively seeking the lease and you are the one, you can get an exemption if it's on your own property.
Yeah.
But not your neighbor's property.
Yeah.
So
You gotta be
let's
1,000
say you
foot
have
from your
50
neighbor.
acres and you don't care that it's within 1,500 foot of your house. As long as it's not 1,500 foot of your neighbor's house, I think we should write an exception for that. But beyond that, no.
So we can write an exception like that in
Sure.
the ordinance?
Absolutely. It's one of those things we have to think about sometimes ahead of time. We have it happen a lot with property lines that are, you know, somebody wants to do something and they own both properties, but they put the second property into an LLC or something like that. Well, legally speaking, now you don't, same property owner doesn't own both of these properties and I can't let you split the line. You know, we have things like that happen now. So the more that sort of stuff can be thought of ahead of time, the better. So that's actually a good idea, to put an exception of some sort in there for people who, you know, want to lease their backyard and they live in the middle of nowhere. The only person it's going to affect is them. I don't see why we would have a problem with that.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, as long as they're not affecting a neighbor and it's
We'll,
existing
we'll have to
neighbor.
make sure that we write that exception to be residential only, though.
Yeah,
It can't be within a school or near a school. You added this. Didn't we already have a screening section in there, or is?
It's fencing. It's no, there's no screening attached to that requirement. It's simply fencing around the base where people can't have access to the base of the tower. Number 15 is actually gonna add a screening towards, for the whole base. And then we can.
So we
tweak
got
it
here
however-
vegetation or fencing, right? Is that
Or
correct?
approved fencing. for
'Cause
both.
see,
I
if
mean,
you know, like you had one close to home, you probably wanted just to be a fence and not no vegetation around. That's what you think.
that's not saying they could have a fence or vegetation.
It should be and or.
So they're required to have a fence now,
Okay.
safety
Liability,
fence, you know, like
liability.
just a physical barrier so you can't get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that fence is not required to be screened.
This would be
So it can be a
screened.
see-through fence. This fence would be, you know, where you can't see through it. So like a privacy fence or, I don't even know what they call those fences that have the little plastic slats that go all through them. But you know what I mean. But this fence would be that type of screening, more like a privacy screening. Or they can plant a vegetative
Okay.
screen.
So you're saying the fence could be the screen?
Yeah, and I think I'll get her to rephrase that, or approved screening instead of fencing. That way it's clear that it's not your safety fence.
Right, okay.
When they come to you for an application, or they already have the FCC license when they apply for a tower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so most of the time, the tower companies are working on behalf of a large carrier. So, I mean, obviously, Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, T-Mobile, whoever, they have huge amounts of frequencies with all the, FCC, Aviation Commission, all those things. So 90% of the time, yeah, all of that stuff's provided up front when they apply.
Typically, they have
And-
most everything that we need from the beginning because
Right.
And if they didn't, they'd have to have it before we could approve it anyway.
final.
And when the county, and it's the same thing for us, I mean, even though we don't build the tower, if we lease space on the tower or put our own equipment on the tower, we have to do the same thing as the county. We have to register our frequencies and get FCC approval, and then there's a whole review process, and then somebody has to climb the tower, install our equipment. And so one tower could have 10 license holders on it. But generally speaking, the applicant is working for a tower company, and that tower company is working for a single person at that time. So when y'all see it, it's AT&T or it's Verizon, but a month after it's put up, it could have AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and half a dozen other people on it.
Whoever they can get to lease the space on the.
But they
tower.
all have to submit a license, so. Even if it's ham radio, you still gotta have a license.
Yeah, I had like about 50 years, I guess.
And believe it or not, we do have ham radio in Edgefield.
All I have on that, and one else have anything on that, on the tower, I don't see.
Were we gonna discuss the major subdivision ordinance tonight?
I mean, you can in the open Q&A that's coming up next. That's the only other thing we have, is just general discussion.
Cause that's gonna be a top, is that gonna be
That's gonna be the primary topic on the joint
joint meeting?
Oh,
meeting that's
okay.
coming up. We're gonna have a planning commission, county council joint meeting. And we're gonna have subdivisions and, several other, I can't even remember now. I wrote it a couple of weeks ago, so now my brain's broke. But that's the primary topic, is subdivision ordinance. We haven't picked a date for it yet.
Oh, I didn't ask that.
But also, one thing we have to pick a date for is our SACIT education round. So we had the Piedmont training already, but, we always do 2 classes, so we got to pick a date for that.
That'll
And I
probably
was-
be out in the 1st of October.
Yeah, and I was gonna get someone from Association of Counties to come be the main speaker. But if we have other speakers or topics that y'all wanna cover, let me know, and we'll find someone for that too.
We have to attend one or both.
You only have to
One.
attend
If
one.
you
One.
didn't come
So
to the
if-
last one,
okay.
you have another opportunity, and of course,
Of course, you're welcome to
To
attend
both, okay.
all training sessions, but
But
we
one is-
offer 2 that aren't considered makeup.
Okay.
And that way you can, if you can't get to one, you get to the other. And then if you can't make it to both of them, then you have to watch boring videos, and I'm sorry.
and of course, we'll partner with the towns again. It'll be a group effort for the next one.
Speaking of cell towers, we got another one of those coming up, right?
Yes,
I
we
give
do
that,
have-
did I
we
see
do
a
have
note somewhere about the cell tower?
Application for another cell tower coming up, Highway 25 North,
Cause-
close to Pleasant Lane.
What
Somebody-
about Pleasant Lane?
Somebody put in a building application to put one up, and I was like, wait, hold up, where's that?
Okay, now that, cause he got one out, let's see, one up there.
You don't have a permit, you don't have planning approval, so
They're
they'll be
Next
coming
month.
here shortly whenever they get all their
right around the corner.
The asphalt plant is gonna come back in September. They should have everything that they need from DOT. I think that's their final, site plan.
Do they have their DES already submitted?
They have all of that.
Okay, I need a copy of that.
Their permit to construct, the only thing that they're missing is their DOT encroachment approval for them. That's the last piece to the puzzle, and they'll come back to y'all for a final. So that's next month, and there was one other possible one. So, we'll see if I can get everything in for time.
That's all we have.
Y'all have any more questions
I'm
about
trying to think about
the cell
it.
tower ordinance, or do y'all have anything for the open discussion, if you wanna move on to that? Yes, no, maybe?
We're done.
John, till 6 o'clock, do our regular meeting. So they probably need some rest anyway. There you go. Okay. About that time.
Yep.
At this time, we will call our meeting to order for the Edgefield County Planning Commission for August 13, 2026. Time of order, invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for all the lives here tonight. Lord, go with us and be with us through this meeting as we do our county's business. May we have a good meeting and be safe on our way back home. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, right hand, opposers, ayes have it. I need approval for the minutes of our work session for July 9, 26.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, right hand. I need approval for the minutes for July 9, 26.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, right hand, okay, good. No guest speakers, public comments, got any publics, no public comments? Okay. This time, reports, any report or update from the staff be given at this time?
The only thing, you have your census report in front of you, which is up to date, as of last month. As far as your plat reviews, we had 6 plat reviews for boundary surveys, 5 minor subdivisions, 0 major subdivision, 2 exempt subdivisions, and 1 final plat, which was, heritage, and 1 preliminary, which is another update of Hummingbird. And as Doc said, we're gonna have a scheduled joint meeting within the next couple of months. That's the only thing that we have.
So the plat reviews were just boundary line reviews, you said?
Any plat review is just a boundary survey. It's an existing parcel that someone has surveyed out to verify their boundary lines.
And I didn't hear what you were saying about Heritage Place.
They submitted a
The
final plat.
one that we talked about last month, that Fab signed, it was a final plat review, that strip up front.
Okay.
And then the preliminary plat was Hummingbird.
And they, it's the one where they deleted the townhouses and turned them into single family.
For Heritage up front.
Do you know how many units that we went from so many
It
townhouses?
cut them in half. So
They cut 'em
they
in half.
lost, what, 20?
I think that's what you said last week was 20.
So they had 40 and cut it down to 20, single family.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Now we'll have, no old business. Vote on, so we'll move along. New business is vote and final discussion regarding the recommendation for approval of the preliminary plat submitted with the land development application for the proposed tractor supply store to be located at corner Columbia Road and Star Road in Edgefield. Tax base number 156000084 triple R. Floor is open for discussion on that before we vote. Any more questions or comments on it? I will be the first customer when they build it. Okay, any, no, tractor. And so I want to entertain a motion to, I think they met all the requirements, everything up to date on that, so if someone entertain me a motion for approval.
So
Yes.
moved.
Second? Any discussion? If not, all in favor of voting for the preliminary plat that they submitted, raise your right hand. Opposers, ayes have it, so. Start digging whenever. Yeah. Okay, no exec session. If we don't have any comment, appreciate all of you coming. And when you get your date, you're gonna let us know the date on the other meeting with the county council, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll coordinate that between y'all and them.
Yeah, okay. Okay. If not, give me a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, John.